What's up, YouTube? It's your boy JB, and I'm here today with the review for Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 12, Episode 4. The episode's titled Love, Marriage, and Sour Peaches. So, you guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and just jump into the video. Alright, so we'll just start where the episode actually picked up. So, it picked up where it ended last week with Cynthia. She was on the float, and Nene came on the float. And Cynthia was not. It didn't. We weren't sure if Nene was going to brush by Cynthia or if she was going to speak to Cynthia. But she did speak to Cynthia, and she spoke to Noelle. And then also behind them was Kelly Dodd, so she spoke to Kelly. So they paid each other compliments. Cynthia's like, "You look good, Leaks," and Nene was like, "You look good as well." So then she also spoke to Eva, which I was like, okay. But then we see Marlo joins them, and Eva's like, "Oh, there go her lapdog." I was like, I definitely agree with that. Marlo is like a lapdog to Nene. Now, Nene was on Watch What Happens Live, and she was talking about these girls. I always want to say that. They used to say Cynthia was my lapdog. Well, she was your lapdog for years, but Nene is the type of person that once she's done with you, she'll throw you away like you want. Like you meant nothing to her. So then we also do see that Eva and Cynthia, they're going out to dinner with Marlo. And Eva's like, "Wait a minute, we haven't dealing with Marlo?" She's like, "I'm not here for that, Cynthia. Like, I'm gonna order my food, but as soon as she gets here with that bad wig and whatever else she got on, I'm dipping out." So then they start to order their food, and the prices of that menu, I'm like, shit, I couldn't afford that. I'd be like, "Ooh, no, no, no." So then Marlo does show up, and Marlo has on this horrible looking ass wig and this funny looking outfit. Couldn't quite couldn't quite gather what it was, but it was an interesting outfit nonetheless. So when like I said, when Marlo showed up, Eva dipped out. So Marlo is talking to Cynthia. Well, actually, she had to talk about Eva first, and I'm just like, why is Marlo so worried about Eva? She said she was broke before. She's got jobs now, but she was broke when she mentioned that last year. And what else did she say? She's talking about she's bisexual. I'm like, why do you care? Do you want Eva? Like that's the feeling that I'm getting. So then they start to talk about the pride, and Marlo asked how was Noelle. She says, "Oh, Noelle is good." She said, "Marlo, Noelle looked like she was right at home." She said she should be because she's sexually fluid, and she told me that she's dated girls. And then they started to talk about the whole blog thing. And Marlo was saying that both, Nene and Cynthia were wrong. I don't necessarily agree with that. I believe that, okay, so let's talk about it because I said it last week and I'm still gonna stick to it. And I'm gonna go a little bit deeper into it in just a few minutes about what I really feel. Now they showed Watch What Happens Live. That was now Andy brought that up, and then the view he asked he has his poll where the viewers poll whose side they're on. That was part of the show. That was part of their contract. Jenny McCarthy, I think that might have been promotion for the show, and Madame Noir, also a promotion for the show. I think the thing that might have stumped her was when Cynthia went on Speak On It with Candy. That might be the biggest thing. And I mean, shit, it's not a big deal. Like, Cynthia said what she said. And as Nene always say, she said what she said. So let it be. But, I just really don't care. Cynthia, not Cynthia, but Marlo wants those to the makeup. I'm like, I don't know if that's going to happen. But, I go ahead and give it a good old effort and a try. But I just don't see it happening. But let's move on, you guys. All right, so next let's move over to Nene. So we saw Nene, and she was having lunch with Marlo. Now, what the hell did Marlo have on in this one? She looked like a gold disco ball. So they sit down and have a conversation. She's like, I told you that I was having dinner with Cynthia last night. She says, yes, how did that go? She says, well, first of all, Eva was there. And Eva had a little bit of attitude. I'm like, okay, that is true. Eva had an attitude, but Eva's not fucking with you. So what did you expect? Like, you did so much underhanded shit to her last season. So you expected for Eva just to be like, oh, girl, it's all good. Water under the bridge. I think not. Like, I wouldn't be like that. So I don't know what world Marlo is living in. But she does tell her that she eventually did have a conversation with Cynthia, and she told her that they were both wrong, and Nene was like, "We're both wrong." Yes, Nene, you're both wrong, but I feel like Nene has more percentage than Cynthia. And she was like, but Cynthia was the one that went on all those interviews. And I think the main one she was upset about is Candy Speak On, because that was the first one that she talked about, was she went on Candy's little show. I'm like, so you're mad about Speak On It? Like that's just what I feel, is that she's mad about her going on to Speak On It. But I mean, shit. Right after Speak On It, you got on your YouTube channel and tried to blast all the girls. So what are you talking about? Like, I do remember that, because you got on there and talked about Portia's baby special, which you kept calling commercial. You talked about Cynthia. Who else did you talk about? I mean, you talked about all of them basically. So whatever. So then Marlo's talking about how they both need to close. They need closure with this one. And I don't know if that's gonna happen, Marlo. But I mean, again, like I said, give it a good old try. But then Nene got in her feelings, and she got up and walked out. I'm like, what do you expect for some? I mean, she's so egotistical, and it's all about her. And she, like I said, she just want to place the blame on Cynthia, which I don't understand. I mean, I guess I can see her. No, I cannot see her point, but I guess it is what it is. They're not gonna get anywhere. I just don't feel like they're gonna get anywhere. Do you guys? Tell me how you feel. All right, so next let's move over to Portia. So we see Portia, and she went to Dr. Sherry for some advice. I'm like, this is the wrong person to go to for advice. Like, you should have went. I mean, shit, I would have preferred her to go to. Shit, you could have went to Dr. Phil. At least he helps people sometimes. Dr. Phil, Dr. Jeff, but Dr. Sherry, Dr. Sherry. She was butthurt about this episode, because she tweeted a lot of people that didn't agree with her, her ways of helping her patients. Like, girl, we saw you with the Braxtons. You didn't do shit for them. So, yeah, wrong road, girl. Wrong road. So, Dr. Sherry does ask, Portia, does she feel like when it comes to Dennis, that Dennis earned her trust, or did she just give it to him, freely? And because the relationship was so, fast paced. And I have to agree with Dr. Sherry on that one, that when it comes down to Portia, she did. I don't think that Portia really 100% got to know Dennis to, for him to earn her trust. I think she just gave him her trust thinking, hey, we're in a relationship. And, I trust the guy for the most part. Even though there were a lot of red flags there, because Candy kept telling her last season about his, his ex-girlfriends. So, I mean, I definitely think Portia just gave him the trust. So, she also says that, Dennis threw his family away when he cheated on her, which I agree with that. He couldn't have valued his family that much to actually go and cheat on them. So I agree with Portia with that sentiment. So then Dr. Sherry says, do you feel like you want to make this decision, when with this position that you're in? Like, you're mad at him right now. Do you want to make a decision that'll not only affect you, but it affects your daughter? And, Portia said that the door is bolted, but as we all know, Portia and Dennis are back together, so that door is not bolted. That door was actually open. It was cracked. So then we also do see Portia. She's getting ready to go back to work at Dish Nation, and she's taking PJ with her, which I do remember when she went back to work, because like I said to you guys before, I follow her on IG, so I did see the day that she went to work. And after after her first day, it went pretty smoothly. But now she has to come up with, finding a nanny so that way someone can watch PJ while she's at work. And then, she also doesn't want to have to, when it comes down to, giving her to Dennis, she doesn't want to necessarily have to be involved in that right now. Just give herself time to think. I'm like, how? And and I wish I could remember how long it was from when we found out about them breaking up until they got back together. I wish I could remember that timeline, but I can't right now. But let's move on, you guys. All right, let's move over to Candy. So we have Candy. She's at her house, and then she has Kenny coming over. So Kenny is just talking about how Brooklyn is crawling, and Candy asked, so when is Brooklyn's birthday? She said November 3rd. And I'm like, Candy, how did you forget that? She had her baby on the premiere night of Real Housewives of Atlanta last season. But, she says, oh, well, that's so funny because, my baby is due in November. And speaking of which, congratulations are in order to Candy and Todd because they had their baby girl, Blaze Tucker. I believe she was born Friday. I can't remember. I think it was either Thursday or Friday when she was born. So, she talking about how she goes to, the doctor's appointments with Shadina. And Kenya was like, does Todd go with you? She says, yeah, he goes with me as well. And then they started talking about how, talk about Mark. So Kenya was like, when she was about 6 or 7 months pregnant, that's when Mark started to, she was getting bigger and Mark started to act differently toward her. And, she also talked about how, he gets on her about changing the baby's diaper. And I'm like, he gets on you about changing her diaper? That shit is nasty. And it's so funny to look at Kenya because what we saw Kenya do over the last, you know, she came on season 5, from her time when she came on the show to now, she's a different person, especially within her marriage. She's different because she was when she was in her relationship with Matt, she wasn't this way. Walter wasn't a I don't know if Walter was a 100% real relationship, but she's just a little bit different. It's like she's docile. It's like she's very submissive to Mark, which Candy said that she's very submissive. And then she's talking about his birthday trip that she wanted to go on a trip with him, but he did not want to go with a nanny so that the nanny could watch Brooklyn. And then she says she asked Candy, so do you and Tom bump heads? She says, yeah, we bump heads all the time, but they find a way to make things work with each other. And I just I really do feel bad for Kenya. Like, damn, it's like he's controlling, but I don't know that. So then we see that Candy, she took Ace to the doctor's appointment with Shadina so that way he could see his baby sister. And that new interview look that she had with that hair, I love the outfit, hated the hair, horrible hair. So Dr. Jackie is just telling them about what the process is for the the birthing process. That Shadina will be in her own room, and Candy and Todd will be in their own room. And once the baby is born, they'll take the baby into the room with Candy. She'll have that bonding moment with her baby. What else? And actually, that'll actually be the last time that they see Shadina. And Kenya, in the middle of her talking with Dr. Jackie, she called her. Then she texted her and asked her could she come over. So then once the doctor's appointment is over with, Candy was like, well, Todd, can you take Ace and you guys go do something? Cause I'm gonna go have Kenya texted me, so let me go see what Kenya wants. So we'll move on to that in just a second, okay? All right, then last you guys we have Kenya. So Kenya does go over to Kenya's place. Now when Candy gets to Kenya's place, Kenya is in good spirits. She's uplifted. She's jovial. She's happy. And I'm like, wait a minute. That text message that she sent, you would have thought something bad happened to Kenya. So they sit down. Before they sit down, Kenya's talking about how she wants to get a breast reduction, but she wasn't able to do it at the time that she went in because she was still lactating because the doctor squeezed her nipple and out popped up milk. So she's talking about how her sex life has gone downhill. Since she's gotten after she during her pregnancy and even after her pregnancy, her sex life has not gotten better. Candy was like, yeah, when I was pregnant with Ace, my sex life went down, but after we had Ace, it went back up. Kenya's sex life is non-existent basically. So she also tells Candy that when it came to her anniversary with Mark, she and Brooklyn went to Turks and Caicos, not with Mark solo. She's like, yeah, wait a minute, you went on your anniversary by yourself? She's like, yeah, because again, Mark did not want to go with a nanny, and I'm just like, what is it his deal with the nanny? And then I had to think to myself, I'm like, is Mark actually 100% sexually attracted to Kenya? I know they have a baby together, but do we know that they had sex to have a baby? No offense, like I'm just saying, they could have had because she was what 48, so I'm pretty positive they might have had to go the route of in vitro. I don't know, but I just wondered like, is he sexually attracted to Kenya? That's my question. So Candy tells her, like, why don't you sit down and have a conversation with him about how you feel? She says, I do. But then when she starts to talk, she starts to break down and says that every time that there's an argument between him and her, and that he crosses lines, and Candy's like, does he call you out your name? And she said she didn't necessarily say yes, but she implicated that he does. And she says when it comes down to their fights, she says it's like, so with their fights, it's pretty much he'll get mad about something that had already taken place, and then something like small right now, like the TV could be up too loud, he'd get mad about it, but it's actually about something that they never actually discussed before. And Candy can kind of somewhat relate because she and Todd have had arguments, but they managed to work things out. When it comes to Kenny and Mark, I just don't know if that's gonna work because they like with Portia, their marriage was very quick to me, so I don't know how to feel about that one. But they'll if they decide to make their marriage work, they will. If not, I wish the best for Kenya. But that was it for Real Housewives of Atlanta, you guys. So be sure to like the episode, like the video, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button, and I will see you guys later. And also share the video.